Sai Ram. Welcome to Sri Sathya Sai Loka Seva Gurukulam. Today we are going to learn part 4 of Origin and Evolution of Life and Introduction to Classification. First we will see the answer for the home assignment. The first question asked was, list out the evidence of organic evolution based on the organism's development. The organism development is known as embryology, right? Last time we have studied the study on the development of organism is embryology. It supports the principle of organic evolution because it has similar stages during the development, morula, blastula and gastrula. All the vertebrates starts their life from a single cell zygote. All of them during its lifetime pass through the 2-layer blastula and then 3-layer gastrula, and then we can see the gill slits are also present in the organism during development. Second question was, define vestigial organ. The small degenerative and non-functional organ which is present in the organism is known as vestigial organ. This was assumed to be functional and then it had some kind of relation with their body function when we are considering the ancestor form. This is known as vestigial organ. Which organ of man is homologous to the wing of bird? This is the third question which was asked. That is, the forelimb of the man is homologous to that of the wing in the bird. The fourth question is, give examples from molecular biology which supports organic evolution. All the organisms are having a cell which is the basic unit, the structural and functional unit of an organism, and which is having the same biomolecule. Ribosomes is the cell organelle which is universally present in all the organism. DNA is the hereditary material except few viruses, but DNA is the genetic material. ATP is the molecule which provide energy for the organism. Then the same 22 amino acid we can able to see that constitute the protein in all the different organisms which is present in the world. Now we will see the learning objective of today. We are going to study mechanism of evolution, Darwin's theory of natural selection. First we will see mechanism of evolution. The various theories were put forth because so many people, whatever they are thinking, based on that evolutionary theory was put forth. We know about biblical way also the evolution of earth and the origin of man and other species were listed. In all the different kind of religion, in Hinduism also we can able to see. So the evolutionary theory was given by different religion. Similarly, different people also gave evolutionary theory. The first well accepted theory is Landmark's theory of inheritance of acquired character. Acquired character means they will get to know based on the environmental stimulus or from outside, they will get some kind of character which is getting accumulated in the organism, thereby the organisms have evolved. The second theory is De Vries theory of mutation. That is, some kind of genetic change, sudden change which is happening in an organism, thereby the organisms are different from each other and that leads to the evolution. This is having some importance. Then Darwin's theory of natural selection, this is what still it is followed but with little modification. Why there was some modification? Because we are totally in a biological era where we can able to see so many technologies are available, right? Based on the technology, we could able to get the information which was not known to the people when they proposed the theory. So these technologies help the human to understand the biological system very well. So we are having progress in genetics and also the development of modern synthetic theory of evolution. This is a slight modification what we can able to see in the Darwin's theory of natural selection. So first we will see the details in the Darwin's theory of natural selection. Charles Darwin, he explains the mechanism of evolution in the organism by theory of natural selection. Hence, this theory was well accepted. Darwin was considered as father of evolution. So, in that theory, he is telling all kind of organisms are related to one another through its ancestry. The mechanism of evolution which causes the organism to evolve is known as natural selection. And he is telling like the organisms tend to produce more offsprings than what is present in the today's world. So, the organism tend to produce more offsprings because the offsprings are more vulnerable to many diseases and prone to various kind of infection, and also these organisms can be a easy prey for the other organism. So, organisms tend to produce more and more offsprings because the nature wants that organism to exist in the environment. Then the organism which escapes, the offsprings or the small babies whichever escapes from all the different various way of struggle, then those organisms will survive. So, organisms tend to produce more organism, that is it will produce more babies. The limited environmental resource is also one of the major phenomena for that. If everybody is going to use the same natural resource, then it will get depleted very soon, right? If so many deer are present in the grassy area, then in the grassland eventually we will find all the grass is eaten up and then it won't have any source to get its food. Similarly, we can able to correlate the same phenomena with many other organisms. So, all organism has to struggle for its existence. The organism which is having an advantage, some kind of phenomena what we can able to see in different organism which makes the organism survive in that environment. Based on that, we can see some of the organism will have a better grazing ability and it will move further away, and then it can able to get more and more resources which is available to that, right? Some organism will have that small differences between the other organism. Based on that, this organism will become advantageous, and this variation protect and also it will allow the organism to reproduce. And the disadvantage of the variant whichever is not at all necessary for that, those variants will get eliminated. Even though a variation which is happening in different part of the body which is not required, is not necessary for the organism. So, those organisms will tend to eliminate from the environment. Now, we will study what is origin of species. Darwin proposed that environmental change is one of the important phenomena which makes the organism to evolve, right? And based on the changes, the organism tend to adapt to that environment. If a temperature variation or any kind of food availability variation is there, the organism tend to adapt to that environment. Those organisms which are having an advantageous variation tend to sustain in that environment. So, the nature will also promote those organisms to survive. After many generations, if the same characters and the same environmental fluctuation or same environmental changes which was present, those organisms which tend to develop a advantageous character to sustain and grow in that environment. Thereby, we can see that organisms have subtle differences in its character. These characters may be totally different from that of the ancestral character, correct? So, these characters when it tend to accumulate in the species, these organisms eventually it will become a separate organism, a new organism. This is known as origin of species. And Darwin here in this theory, he is talking about variation which is happening in the organism, but he did not clearly mention that where the variation actually happens, right? And then with the progress in the genetic resources and also the knowledge in the science and also the development in the technology, now we know that the variation which is happening in the gene level, right? And because of that, the Darwin's origin of theory of natural selection is modified, and it is modified as new theory that is known as Neo-Darwinism or modern synthetic theory of evolution. Now we came to the end of this session. We will see the home assignment questions. What is mutation? Define gene pool. How differential reproduction leads to variation. These are some of the questions you have to answer, and we will discuss the answer in the next class. Hope you understand the subjects properly. Thank you. Om Sri Sai Ram.